I'm going to start it at a slightly lower volume. That was fucking unbelievably loud.
Coming hot.
Yeah, dude, that was crazy. Okay. DJ, play that shit back.
Devin Hester off to our left. He is the deep man about his 6-yard line. His average during the season for the All-Pro, 26.4 on 20 returns and 2 touchdowns with a long of 96, dipping to 15.3 in the playoffs. Ball off to our right. Adam Vinatieri has it on the tee. The Colts in all white. The Bears, navy blue and white. White numerals are about ready to go.
By the people in the stands, they don't need seats today because they're all standing.
Vinatieri on the approach. Flat frogs popping here in Miami. It sails to the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle at the 15, to the 20, breaks free at the 25, to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 of the Colts, 20, 15, Hester 5. Oh! Touchdown Bears!
No way! Adam Vinatieri kicked the ball so high in the air, it gave time for the protection to get behind him and create a running lane, and Devin Hester fouled his blockers. He caught the ball first and then went to work. Does someone win a free TV?
Absolutely. A free TV, but more importantly, a fast start delivered by the Windy City.
I have such beautiful memories of camp. Being outside all day, eating cold, soggy chicken nuggets with a hint of freshly cracked black pepper and incredible floor hockey skills by yours truly, setting the Rogers Park Summer Camp floor hockey record unofficially of 11 goals in one game. We're talking Hall of Fame level play. Shout out Devin Hester. NFL training camp and opening week have a very similar vibe to the summer camp of our youth, with slightly goofier pads on helmets, making everyone look like an NFL Blitz character, HBO cameras all around, playing football in the rain until the camp counselors say we have to go inside because the weather is getting dangerous, and signing enormous record-setting contracts. So, what did we learn about the Bears this week?
All right. That clip, as I'm sure a lot of you guys recognize, was from the Super Bowl. Devin Hester's opening return for a touchdown. You can hear Tom Thayer saying, go, go, go. I think that was all of us when we were doing it. So well-deserved, I thought, for Devin finally getting in, along with other ex-Bears, Steve McMichael and Julius Peppers, rounding out another crew with Andre Johnson and some other folks. So it was cool to see him get recognized, and having the Bears play afterwards was pretty neat too. So what did we learn about the Bears? So unfortunately the game was cut short. I don't know how much of it you were able to watch there, but they basically called it midway through the third quarter
because we were so awesome, and they said everything we knew about them, we
figured it out.
We figured it out. They're great. We don't need any more football.
It was just a giant monsoon that rolled through Ohio. But yeah, no, a couple observations I made. First of all, talking about Devin Hester, the kickoff rule was a big thing that people were looking out for. It totally changed it. It's a lot like, I think, is it the UFL or XFL? One of those two adopts this same methodology. So the NFL kind of just borrowed it. And essentially, just a real quick overview, the kicker kicks it, and nobody's allowed to move until the returner catches the ball. So you have to be looking out, and the kicking team has the advantage because they're facing him, while the blocking team has to have their heads turned around to make sure they don't move until he catches it. And these guys are 5 yards away from each other, so they're not building up a lot of momentum to block.
They're all a lot closer to the kick returner.
No, there's a big empty space. And it's called the landing zone. There's a spot called the landing zone where the opposing kicker has to get it into that landing zone. If they fail to reach that, it's treated as an illegal procedure, and the opposing team gets it at the 45. If they kick it into the end zone and it's down, they'll get it at the 30. So it's really your best option as the kicking team is to have the returner field it and, tackle them shy of the 30. So they're encouraging teams to, be active in the play rather than teams used to
kick the shit out of it,
whale it out of bounds, and everybody just starts, at the 20-yard line.
That started to feel like there are things in sports sometimes where it's like, why are we even doing this?
Yeah.
Like, it seems like a waste. Like, when people are kicking it, so I guess we'll see how it pans out, but watching, like, a kicker kick the crap out of a ball, like, and which is awesome. Like, that's a cool thing to see, but, like, nothing happens. What a waste of our time. I've actually sometimes thought about that with baseball. Like, if we're thinking about speeding it up, like, does every home run require you to run around all the bases?
Touche.
Like, maybe you just don't, like, because they did that with the instead of making the
intentional
pitch,
walk.
yeah, they're just like, this is dumb. We know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I do like some walk, like some people should be allowed to walk or some part of the game. But so I guess the hope is, we'll get to see people like actually return the ball, like when or return the kick.
Yeah, they did that with the PATs. That was like the automatic play, and then they moved it back. And now, I mean, it's still pretty automatic, but the percentages have gone down for kickers that miss it or get it blocked or something like that. So I think they're trying to take out some of those automatic plays. But that was cool. It was cool to see him. It's cool to see the new kickoff. I mean, nothing really happened, in terms of like somebody broke one for a long gain or anything like that. It was just kind of like blah. But it was our first look at it. So
yeah, it's weird when you see like a new thing in a sport. It definitely, there's like oh, that's an interesting formation. Because usually the players would be like, really far away from each other. And so now they're like,
could you imagine these people's minds that were blown when the forward pass was first come out? They're like, what the hell is going on?
Innovation is like, it's just like, it's so, innovation is interesting because it's like, duh, but it takes somebody to like do it to see that duh moment.
And I do give football, basketball credit. They do try to do stuff like that. Baseball typically is just kind of like, nope, that's how we're going to do it.
This is what the founding fathers wrote about
Exactly,
the rules of baseball. So we're sticking with the rules of baseball.
The unwritten rules, because they didn't have writing invented when we made this sport.
Baseball was before writing.
Baseball was before writing, so that's why there's so many unwritten rules.
Yeah, unwritten rules makes you think this is like deeply ingrained, but it's like, no, they just didn't have paper and a pen to write it down. Okay. Shout out Devin Hester. Mm-hmm. Shout out Julius Peppers. Shout out
Steve McMichael.
Steve McMichael, dude. That's amazing.
Yep.
I remember my friends arguing a couple of years ago. Is Devin Hester worthy of making it to the Hall of Fame? And the only person that said no was a Packers fan because he's,
uninformed.
He's uninformed.
Yeah, I mean, he's the best at his position for what he was doing. And him being so good had them change the kickoff rules. I mean, those alone qualify you for the Hall of Fame. If they changed rules because of how good you were at something,
yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the rest of the game was interesting. I think we're all disappointed Caleb Williams didn't play, but I think we all kind of understand that he wasn't going to, although, he's a rookie, so it's kind of up in the air, but nobody really plays in the Hall of Fame game. It's really just it's an extra preseason game. Most teams, I think they changed it from 4 to 3. So there's 3, and then this is the extra one. So that's 4. I wonder if part of it is because the Bears actually play the Texans in week 2. And I'm wondering if they didn't, if Luce would have given Caleb some snaps.
Week 2 of the season.
Week 2 of the season.
Oh, so no.
So maybe he's just like, you know what? If it was anybody that wasn't even in our regular season schedule, maybe we get Caleb some reps because, he hasn't played football since November, right? Let him see some live action. Let him get his feet wet a little bit. But maybe he's just like, no, I don't want to show Houston anything because we played them so early in the season that, like, why show anything?
I like that. And I don't know if that's, who knows if that's what the idea behind it. But that's like, I think last time we talked about, like, what's, like, sort of next level type stuff or, like, playing they're at a different level. Like, that's some cool, interesting to think about of, like, you don't get to see anything. You get to figure it out.
Yep.
And we know what it is, so we don't even need to see him out there, really.
Yeah.
You don't get to have even the slightest taste or even get to, like, even, like, touch him, tackle him, none of that shit.
None of that. You don't get to see his mechanics. You don't get to see his timing, his cadence with receivers, like, because we play you so early. I mean, he's going to play in Buffalo. They've kind of already announced that, so he's going to get, a couple series probably, maybe the whole quarter. and so it's like, what's the difference in a week? But maybe that's what it is, because the Bears don't play the Bills this year. I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me just making stuff up, but
Listen, you listen to this to get scoops like
That's
that
true.
kind of stuff, dude.
That's true.
That's beautiful. I like it, dude. I agree with it.
let's see, what else did I notice? Just some interesting things. So when we're talking about the return game, I saw Pettis out there. I saw Tyler Scott out there. Now, Tyler Scott's a lock, I think, to make the team. I think they're just testing out his return abilities. Pettis, I don't think, is a lock. And the fact that Velus Jones, who was their much maligned polls pick, had an up and down rookie year and then almost a non-existent sophomore year. He was just not on the field. And now his third year, he keeps moving down the depth chart for wide receiver because they just keep getting more people ahead of him. And so what are his realistic odds of making the team? I think it's just because of special teams. And the fact that he wasn't out there showcasing that, I don't know, that almost leads me to believe that like he's in that pole position for that roster spot. Otherwise, I think they would have had him out there.
That means like he's fighting for a spot?
No, I think that means has a better shot of making the team. The fact that he wasn't playing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it could be similarly like they don't want to show off Velus into this with this new rule or how they're going to use him in the kickoff and the new the new kickoff rules. So maybe they're trying to shield that. But man, if he was like even questionable to make the team, he would definitely have been out there.
Oh, I see.
He's a guy that needs reps and needs practice.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I don't know. I found that kind of odd. Rashawn Johnson, I saw him getting carries before Khalil Herbert. And those two guys are kind of fighting for that second running back spot. So
and Rashawn Johnson was the pick
rookie
last year, right?
Yeah, he was a rookie last year out of Texas. He's not particularly like, I don't know. He's more of like a downhill runner. He doesn't have like breakaway speed. He's not really like a twitchy back, not like an ankle breaker. He's just like find the hole, hit it, and then gain like 8 or 9 yards and then get tackled. So he's pretty good at that. But he had some good runs. Khalil Herbert is who he is at this point. I don't know if he's going to be back next year or if he's going to be with the team. They might try to trade him, but running backs that are on expiring contracts don't have a ton of trade value. So.
You're talking about after this season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting. Austin Booker, 4th round pick this year, defensive end. I thought he had a sack and he generated some QB pressure. I thought he looked pretty good. Other than that, the defensive line I thought looked kind of weak. I don't know if you noticed, but Houston had like all day to throw. They were just kind of picking the Bears apart. There really wasn't a lot of pressure being generated. I mean, these are all vanilla schemes. Nobody's throwing out crazy blitz packages or showing their hand for these preseason games. But, still wasn't really getting any pressure.
Just a side note, just as we're kind of on this theme of like not showing your hand, it's just an interesting, like there's this like subtle gameplay, I was talking to a coworker and about like part of maybe the reason they didn't want to play Caleb Williams is like they don't want people to be able to just start like critiquing what he's doing. And this is supposed to be try some stuff out, don't do that much, sort of the spring training approach of throw that crazy pitch because who cares?
Yeah,
your numbers are irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
But as a way to maybe protect him to some degree, like we don't need to even put you out in front of like people to make any comments or like, we don't need any of that or even that, defense. Like we don't need to show you. That's almost like none of this. It's kind of like none of this matters, I guess.
They're
like
all glorified practices.
Yeah. Like what do we, I guess you still want to get light game speed, but it's still probably having, all of my zero experience in the NFL. I imagine it's not, once you get to the game is the season.
I mean, you have 90, your roster size is like 90 people.
It's a lot of people.
And you have to cut it down to 53 before the season starts.
90 is bigger than that number that they say that you, the Dunbar number, which is like the amount of people in a community that's like the amount of people you can keep track of in a.
Oh, really?
We'll put a link to what the Wikipedia Dunbar number is. But it's like there's a certain number where after that, like things are too large. So it's like some animals out there, like after their group gets to a certain size, they have to they can't be a group anymore. They have to branch out. So 90 seems like too many. And eventually, I think 53 is under that number.
I didn't know that. Good stuff.
I barely know that. We're just giving you little bits.
But, that's part of the reason why they don't play a lot of people they know are going to make the team, because it's like, what's the point? You get them a couple reps so they get their feet wet, but you really want to evaluate these, like your wide receiver 6, your 7th offensive lineman, like who's that going to be, and what situation are they good at? What situation are they not good at? Where do we have a hole? What, can this guy play special teams, right? Because he's going to be like a backup, a fill-in, a practice squad guy. He's going to have to be able to play special teams if he's going to be of value to the team. So, the preseason is interesting. If you take it for what it is, I think it's fascinating. But I can see why a lot of people don't really want to watch it.
It's interesting, though. That perspective is cool of, like, you're watching people who are trying to make the team, trying to, like, figure out who's what. Everyone that they know is making the team, it's whatever. You know what they're going to produce for the most part. Mm-hmm. This is actually a cool, like, inner working of, like, what happens on the sort of other side of maybe not other side of football, but, like, on the, some of the other elements of a team. There's all these other people who need to make it that are going to play roles that you maybe won't know their name, but you get to see people make an impact. And over the course of a 16-game season, this one person does something in here that gets them on the team that leads to some, like, impactful moment in a game.
And that's what's going to be cool about Hard Knocks, too, is they're going to take the footage from the Hall of Fame game, and in tomorrow's episode, they're going to talk about it, right? And then you're going to get that cool insight of, like, okay, you watched this game, what are the things I noticed? And then you're going to get to watch Hard Knocks and be like, is what I noticed accurate? Like, I saw, we talked about the D-line not generating any pressure. Zach Pickens is their 3rd-round pick from last year. Was not noticeable, like, at all. I was trying to find him, trying to see what he was doing. He seemed to get lost on the plays. Like, that's my perspective. Now, maybe he did stuff I'm not aware of because I'm not a coach. I'm not a player. Like, I don't know what gap he's supposed to be in. But when I watch Hard Knocks tomorrow, I'm going to see for that. Like, are the coaches happy with his performance? Do they bring him up at all? Like, what let's get that extra layer of insight. So that kind of stuff, I don't know. I like that stuff.
Yeah, hell yeah. Me too. I'm very, very excited. Okay, so on to the theme of this episode, which is the Bear went to camp.
The Bear went to camp.
You went to camp.
I did.
You are writing an article about it?
I wrote one. I published it.
Yeah.
It's I can send you the link. And then we can post it in the wherever we post the podcast, and then people can go check it out. It's really just a reflection on the training camp.
Yeah.
I went with my wife and my kids. Somebody bailed on me. No, it was cool. I'd never been before. The process was a little crazy though, because the tickets went on sale. All the tickets for all the training camp dates went on sale at the same time. And this was like Taylor Swift tickets. Like, you had to be in the queue. I'm looking at the countdown. It gets to 0. The button goes from gray to blue. I'm clicking on it like a crazy person. And I'm like 505th in the queue. What the hell? And so there's only like 390 tickets or something per day. So I get to the end. It says it's sold out. I refuse to give up. I just keep refreshing, man. I'm pressing enter. Then it moves me along. And it says, how many tickets do you want? All right, progress. So I get to 4, I hit enter. So the tickets are no longer available. I'm like, no, this site is crazy. I'm going to keep trying.
I'm getting these freaking tickets.
So, a couple minutes later, I tried it again, and then it was in my cart, and I checked out, and then, I was able to go. So that was cool. It was pretty neat. They have a lot of, they do a good job, the Bears do, of, like, sending you reminders, notifications, things like that upcoming to the training camp, because there's a lot of, like, don't bring this, you can bring that, here's where to park, because the shuttle takes you there, you can't park at Hallis Hall. There's, like, all these instructions. So it's pretty neat. We took the shuttle over. There's a lot of stuff for kids to do. They've got, like, punt, pass, kick competition in the Walter Payton Center.
I imagine you, like, going up against little kids and destroying them in the punt passing and the
I would have liked to compete, but I really wanted to watch practice, and we got there a little bit late, and practice had already started. So she's just like, I know you're getting antsy. Why don't you go watch practice, and I'll hang out with the boys here. And I'm like, gone. So went and started watching practice. And practice, it went from about 9:30 to about noon, I'd say, is when they do their practice. And the first half is like just a lot of walkthroughs, a lot of stretching. They're installing plays. So the offense and defense are on separate fields. And so they're kind of going through their individual workouts and warm-ups. And then the back end of practice is when it gets kind of exciting, because on the ones go against the ones and the twos go against the twos. So I got to watch a 2-minute drill. I watched Caleb to Rome they connected on 2 TDs. It was pretty neat. I've got links to the videos in the article. So yeah, it was a pretty fun experience. It's great for kids, great for adults, really any fan that like kind of wants to be part of it. I ran into random Chicago media celebrities. I ran into Waddle and Sylvie, ran into Lou Canellis, Carmen DeFalco. I don't know the guy's name, but the guy that makes those Bears videos where he's upset when they lose, and then I think he was in the schedule release. Whatever that guy's name is.
Shout out that guy.
Shout out to that guy. Ran into that guy too. But yeah, no, it was cool. It was cool. Everybody's kind of like got the same hope. They're all drinking the Kool-Aid. So it was good stuff.
Awesome. We'll link to the article. That'll be awesome. Beautiful
Yep.
videos. Okay. So what do we have to look forward to in the coming week?
Yeah, so big week. There's going to be 3 practices this week, and then you got Hard Knocks, which premieres tomorrow.
Tuesday, and you'll be listening to this maybe on Thursday, so it's already happened.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah. Go straight to the next episode. No, it'll be cool. I watched the Giants Hard Knocks that just came out, and it didn't make their franchise look great because the peek behind the scenes isn't always the best. It's like, what do we do? I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of hoping that the Bears don't get painted in a similar light, but very excited to see the behind the scenes stuff. So we got that. We got the Bills game on Saturday, which we will see Caleb. So it'll be really exciting.
Hell yeah.
One of the things I'm watching out for is the Bears' offensive line is not doing great.
Everybody
this week.
seems hurt.
Yep. Nate Davis doesn't practice. He doesn't play. He's like the Kawhi Leonard of the Bears' offensive line minus success. And then, Darnell Wright and Tevin Jenkins have missed a couple practices in a row. So if they don't play, if the starting offensive line isn't healthy enough to go on Saturday, Eberflus might not even play Caleb that much, right? There's no reason to put him behind a patchwork O-line to get beat up. So something to look out for.
Dang. Exciting week.
Exciting week.
Talk to you mofos soon.
All right. Thanks.